Do you remember when Samsung S Ultra phones felt more like sharp little tablets than something you actually wanted to hold all day? Well, that's about to change in a pretty big way. The Galaxy S26 Ultra is bringing a whole new vibe, and I think you're going to want to stick around for this one. Watch till the end because the way Samsung is redesigning this phone could completely change how you feel about the Ultra series. Let's rewind for a second. Back in 2020, Samsung dropped the Galaxy S20 Ultra. Big phone, futuristic, but it still had those soft, rounded corners that made it feel surprisingly nice in the hand. The S21 Ultra followed that same comfort-first approach, keeping things curvy and easy to hold. But then came the Galaxy S22 Ultra, and everything flipped. Out of nowhere, we got this boxy, squared-off design with razor-sharp corners. It looked aggressive, professional, even futuristic. But using it every day, not the friendliest experience. Those edges dug into your palm, and for many people it felt more like carrying a tiny brick than a phone. That design didn't just stop there. The S23 Ultra and the S24 Ultra kept that same squared-off identity. Sure, some folks like the industrial look, but comfort took a back seat. And let's be honest, when you're holding a device for hours, comfort isn't a small detail, it's everything. Then Samsung made a turn with the S25 Ultra. They eased back on the sharp edges and brought some curves into the mix again. The result, a phone that felt better in the hand, less like a box, more like a tool you actually want to use. And people noticed, reviews praised it for that simple but powerful change. Even Apple, with the iPhone 16 Pro Max, was heading toward rounder, smoother corners. Maybe it was inspiration, maybe coincidence, but the end result was clear. Phones were becoming more comfortable again. Now comes the Galaxy S26 Ultra, and Samsung is doubling down on that idea. According to reliable leaks, all four corners of this phone are going to be even rounder. Imagine that feeling when you pick it up and it just slides naturally into your hand. No digging, no awkward edges, just smooth. This is Samsung finally focusing not only on what looks premium, but what actually feels good to hold. And it's not just the corners. Rumors say this phone will be thinner, lighter, and overall easier to handle. Yes, it might also be a little taller and wider, but that's the Ultra personality. Big, powerful, a little dramatic. The display will even get a slight bump, moving from 6.86 to 6.89 inches, but that's thanks to slimmer bezels, not because the phone itself is blowing up in size. More screen, same comfort, that's a win. Of course, there will always be people saying Samsung is following Apple's lead. But to me, this isn't about copying anyone. It's about putting comfort and usability first. We all spend hours every single day holding these devices. If a simple design shift makes that experience easier, smoother, more natural, then it's worth it. So here's the question for you. Do you miss the sharp, boxy edges of the older Ultras, or are you excited to see Samsung lean back into curves with the S26 Ultra? Personally, I'm glad they're listening. Comfort matters, and this feels like a step in the right direction. Drop your thoughts in the comments, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's see together if the Galaxy S26 Ultra really delivers.